Welcome everyone to today's Keptn user group meeting. I'm very happy that I have a guest with me who has been playing and working with Keptn and integrating Keptn in a very large organization. Sachin, hi, how are you?
Hey, hi, Andreas. Thank you for that introduction. I'm good and excited to do this session with you.
Yeah, so I'm really honored to have you because we've been working together over quite a while. You are working in a very, let's say, regulated environment. Security is a big concern. That's also why for the people that are joining, we're going to show how you're using Keptn right now. It's really, you came up with a title, a practitioner's guide to automated performance evaluation. Please, folks that are online, use the chance to ask questions in the Q&A feature. For folks that are watching this later on, reach out to us. You have our names. I'm sure you'll find us either on LinkedIn or just, reach us on Slack. You find Sachin on the Keptn Slack. You find me on the Keptn Slack. Reach out in case you have any additional questions that you couldn't ask because it's, because you maybe couldn't join live. And yeah, having that said, this is a Keptn users group and it's from users to users. And Sachin, please take it away, walk us through it. I'll try to keep it a little interactive. In case questions come in, I will throw it over to you. But yeah, the floor is yours.
Sure, thanks, Andreas. So I start with introduction about myself. I'm a consultant in app modernization and DevOps area, and it's for one of the largest oil and gas services client for ATOS. I'm based in Pune, India, and for the for us, the customers for Keptn are the internal business application teams of the client. Uh, and what we set out to achieve here is automated performance evaluation for these applications, uh, and then maintain the history of the performance of the builds over a period of time, as well as uh, uh, the bake the evaluation, performance evaluation into CI/CD pipeline. So I have this evaluation in a automated fashion, right? So this is a sort of a problem statement we set out to achieve. Uh, on the next slide, this is the technology stack that we have within the client. So for performance test, we have HP Load Runner and Apache JMeter. We also use Apache Bench as well for some of the applications for performance testing. For CI/CD pipeline, we use Azure DevOps platform. So the application build and release is automated using Azure DevOps. We use Dynatrace monitoring for the applications. And for the performance evaluation, we use Keptn Quality Gate. Uh, so there are other features from the Keptn, but this is the feature that we are using, Keptn Quality Gate. We have both self-managed as well as the SaaS instance of Keptn. So we have 0.72 version of the self-managed Keptn instance, and the one that is a SaaS version, which is 0.82 version. So really, we started with Keptn last year with the help from Andreas and other colleagues from Keptn. And we started with, I think, 0.62 version of Keptn. Initially, we tried deploying it on Minikube and other Kubernetes distributions. But finally, the version 0.72 that we run on premise is on the K3S, that's keys, right? Uh, we recently started exploring the SaaS instance of Keptn, which is also known as Dynatrace Cloud Automation SaaS, and we have one of the application deployed there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still under evaluation for
Mm-hmm.
us. Yeah, so
Perfect.
this is how the technology stack looks like, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Sachin, because there's already the first couple of questions that came in, can I quickly jump in?
Yeah, sure.
You mentioned Apache Bench.
Mhm.
Can you quickly give me an overview of how you're using Bench? Is it just to burst some load against like a root URL, or how does this work? Do you know?
Yeah, so we use Apache Bench software to uh, load test the application, right? I think it's AB, it's called AB, and then you have some options there that you pass number of requests. So what we do is we have a YAML script that
Mm-hmm.
we use within Azure DevOps. So within the CD pipeline, we have the YAML script that we run, and what we do is stress out the application with the number of requests using Apache Bench. So
Mm-hmm.
mostly we use HP load runner. We have a load runner LRE extension within Azure DevOps. That's being used, configured within Azure DevOps pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And Apache JMeter is we scripted that in a YAML pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we we do a uh, we stress out the application uh, by executing this performance test, which what happens is that would generate the lot of metrics within Dynatrace,
Mm-hmm.
and then we kick off the Keptn evaluation
Mm-hmm.
using Keptn Quality Gate stage, which is
Mm-hmm.
part of Azure DevOps pipeline. So Keptn Quality Gate is integrated. Uh, Basically, Keptn Quality Gate evaluation, triggering of that evaluation is integrated in Azure DevOps pipeline.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing, because you just mentioned again load runner, a question came in: are you using load runner in the cloud? Are you using load runner that you manage, that you run the load
Yeah,
generators?
we manage. Yeah, it's a self-managed. We
Okay.
don't use cloud-based. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving on. So this is Dynatrace dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two methods, right? You can have SLI, SLO YAML files, right? You can script those YAML files, and then those YAML files could be used by the Keptn for evaluation,
Mm-hmm.
or you could configure the Dynatrace dashboard with your SLI, SLOs, and these are the tiles within that dashboard. And you define what is your SLI. So if you see here, one of the example that's shown on the screen, the SLI we used is GAC-RT. So GAC is the name of application, and GAC-RT is a SLI, which is a response time. And we have a pass and warning threshold here. So
Mm-hmm.
1500 milliseconds is a pass threshold, and 5000 is a warning threshold milliseconds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and if you see, this is defined for the dashboard. So the at a cumulative level, the 90% 90% is a pass, and then warning is a 70%. Uh, so if you define this and use the Dynatrace dashboard ID uh, within the Keptn, then Keptn will query that dashboard, specific dashboard that you mentioned, and then what it will do is it will get the metrics data, query the metrics data using Dynatrace metrics API, and get this, evaluate it, and then tell you whether you're whether whether the SLO evaluation is pass or it's warning or failure.
Mm-hmm.
So we initially used SLI SLO YAML files, but then later on found out that with the Dynatrace dashboard, it's easier to do it, and then started using Dynatrace dashboard. Uh, Obviously, when you start with Keptn, you need to tag your application services with Keptn tags, right? Keptn project, Keptn service, and Keptn stage. So you tag the services, application services with Keptn tag, and then you not only do service level metrics, but you could also do transaction level metrics. So if you want to do a transaction level metrics like one here, you need to define the calculated service metrics within the Dynatrace. And when you do a calculated service metrics, you could do it at a transaction level. So you could find the response times for these transactions, and these are the response times that you see here. So this is one example, a screenshot that we got for one of the application, and we mostly use Dynatrace dashboard, right?
Mhm.
I just wanted to show you how our Azure DevOps pipeline look. So as I was saying, we trigger Keptn evaluation from the Azure DevOps pipeline, and this is our uh, pipeline for one of the application. So we do the deployment of our application, and it could be whatever components of your application. So we have Angular and API services, and then subsequent to that, we kick off the performance test, uh, and you stress out the application, which will generate the metrics within Dynatrace. And after that, you kick off the Keptn Quality Gate, which is evaluation of your performance using Keptn API. So this is typically where we call the Keptn APIs, right? What we do here is before we start the performance test, we have a start time and end time. So we record the start time and end time of performance test, and we pass that times to Keptn API call, right?
Mhm.
Uh, so if you see this particular stage, Keptn Quality Gate, we have this Keptn Quality Gate where we use the shell scripting. So
Mhm.
shell script has the statements to call the Keptn API.
Mhm. Hey, Sachin, two things on this one. First of all, the reason why, and we talked about this in preparation, the reason why you're using a shell script here and not the existing Azure DevOps extension, because in the regulated environment that you are, it takes a long time to get external tools in, right? And that's why
Yeah.
you actually showed how easy it is to integrate Keptn just with a simple shell script that is making the call to the Keptn API. This is what we
Yeah,
call.
yeah, correct. So we looked at the extension for Keptn Quality Gate, Azure DevOps extension, but we have the security controls in place that needs to be validated and authorized to use within the organization, and
Mhm.
we thought better to start with the shell scripting
Mhm.
before we complete the authentication and authorization process of for use of the extension within the organization. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and also the shell script, you were kind enough to share the shell script with me. It's basically a script that is first triggering the evaluation, and then it's also waiting until the evaluation is done, because Keptn is an event-driven system. It may take a second, it may take 10 seconds until all the data is there. And I'm working with Jürgen right now and some others like Rob and other folks that have also kind of written their own bash scripts and helper files. We'll put this on a dedicated Keptn Sandbox project. So all of the great stuff that the community is building around enabling new integrations will be in one central spot, and we'll also share yours there. So that's one thing I wanted to say. And Sachin, I have one more question that just came in from Brian. He says, "Hi Sachin, do you also use a combination of Azure Gates and Keptn, or is it just Keptn Quality Gates?"
We use just a Keptn Quality Gates. Yeah,
Mhm.
we don't use Azure Gates.
Mhm.
You mean approval gates? You is that the question?
Yeah, he's talking about approval gates.
Yeah, we have approval gates. Yeah, we do have approval gates. Like once you do a Keptn Quality Gate, you come to know the quality of your build, and then you could decide to deploy it to next stage, right, to production
Mhm.
probably. And then for some of the applications we have it automated, and for some of the other applications there would be manual approval that needs to happen before it goes to the production. So yeah, that's correct. Azure Gates are used. Yeah.
Mhm. Perfect.
Right. So moving on to this Keptn bridge. So this is from the SaaS instance, 0.82 version of Keptn. So what you see is the the GAC service. This is the name of the service for the GAC application. And here on the right side, you could see the heat map, the evaluation heat map that got generated within the Keptn bridge. And on the left side, these are the GAC RT SLIs.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of SLIs for this particular application, where we have split the service by dimension, right? And this is at for the each of the transactions. Uh, and obviously, I mean, what you don't see in this screenshot is what is a cumulative score, which is at the bottom, whether the evaluation is pass or warning. So all that information is available, and you get to know immediately whether your build is good build, or it's not doing good in terms of performance. Also, if you see, you could go to the Dynatrace dashboard from here. You could go to the release by clicking a release URL.
Mhm.
So I think this is a lot of good stuff. And if you see the sequences, you get to know what time you started the evaluation, when it is completed. So you get to see all that in this sequences menu.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can have multiple projects. I mean, this is for one of the application that we use to evaluate the SaaS instance of Keptn. I just took a screenshot from there and wanted to show you that.
Mhm. One more question that just came in. How many SLIs do you typically have? Like how many individual metrics do you typically evaluate, or which range?
So in terms of number of SLIs, it varies from application to application. For this particular GAC application, it's almost 100 SLIs.
Mhm.
And that's all decided by the application team, and we have a testing team, test COE,
Mhm.
which we call. So what we do, I mean, in terms, it's good to explain a little bit on the process side.
Mhm.
So how we onboard the application, and who gets involved in the onboarding process.
Mhm.
So we have a couple of teams working together for the application performance testing and Keptn performance evaluation. So we have a testing center of excellence, and uh, resources from that team gets involved. And they do performance testing, and they talk to application teams to understand uh, uh, what are those metrics that are important and that need to be tested.
Mhm.
So they come up with the scripts. They configure the performance testing within the Azure DevOps pipeline, and then we set up a call with with the testing center of excellence, as well as the Dynatrace monitoring team, internal team working at client site. So we come together, agree on the Dynatrace Keptn tags that need to be used, uh, and uh, we create the Keptn Quality Gates stage within Azure DevOps pipeline.
Mhm.
Uh, we decide the tagging, we configure Dynatrace dashboard, we tag the services, application services with the Keptn tags,
Mhm.
uh, and then on the Keptn configuration side, we have a couple of commands that we run using CLI. So to create the project, create the service, create the stage, create the Dynatrace secret, apply Dynatrace conf YAML file. So all that we do it on the Keptn side, and I think that whole process takes I think 1 hour. So for us, the time it takes to onboard new application onto Keptn is approximately an hour. Yeah.
Hey, there's two questions that are, I think, very similar. So let me just read the first one. If you have two services, let's assume you have two services that belong to an application and that they are depending on each other. Do you then put everything into one Keptn project and then have SLIs and SLOs that are cover the whole thing? Or would you define a service in Keptn for each individual service that belong to an application? How do you do this?
So we create a Keptn project per application, and we make sure that both the services are tagged with Keptn tags. So what we do in Dynatrace is we find out what logic to use to tag these services, maybe host group, or it could be if they are running on the Kubernetes cluster already, then we use a namespace. So we use a sort of a mechanism to tag these services for the application. But yes, we create a project, Keptn project per application, and then do the tagging, and then create the Dynatrace dashboard. Yeah.
But do you, if an application has multiple services, is this then also combined in one service on?
Yeah, on Keptn. Yeah, that's
on
correct.
Keptn. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I think that was the question. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, if you see GAC service, that's the from Keptn side. From application sides, you could have multiple of those services here.
And I think this is also where, and I want to say thanks to you and also other users that came up with this, because you already said in this case you already have up to 100 different SLIs. What we're currently doing, and one of the feature requests that came in is to tag SLIs and then also have a filter option. So you can go in, even though you may evaluate many different SLIs across different, let's say, services or even app layer and infrastructure layer. SLIs will have tags in the future. So you can then say, yes, I want to do the whole evaluation, but now in the bridge, I want to, for instance, only focus on front-end service and back-end service, or let's say application layer and infrastructure layer. This is something that the team is already working on. I know Johannes Breuer, he's the leading or the acting PM for it. He has a GitHub issue already that is being worked on. And that will then make this much easier, even because you can easily filter. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to take you through some of the statistics at this client. So we onboarded 5 applications so far, and then, as I was saying, it takes 1 hour per application to onboard it. And we have a couple of teams who work for the performance testing and Keptn evaluation, as well as monitoring. So all come together, have a call, and then onboard the application. And then we have many more applications in the pipeline that are supposed to get onboarded onto the Keptn as we speak. So yeah, I think that's it.
I have another question that just came in before I say thank you, and hopefully more questions will come. Coming back to the question we had earlier, where you said you have one project per application, and then what if do you have a situation where you have multiple applications, or in your case projects, and they are depending on each other, or are all the applications completely standalone and isolated?
Honestly, I haven't come across where applications are dependent on another application. So we have all independent applications as
Okay.
such.
Mhm.
And then we created the one Keptn project and one Keptn service
Mhm.
per application.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for the clarification. Hey, Sachin, thank you so much. I know it's been a long journey, and thank you so much for agreeing to doing this talk. I know you're working in a very regulated environment, and this was still great that you could show all this data. I know we would have loved to show some live demos, but as I said, we need to be careful with what we do. We need to make sure that we are not violating any protocols here. The journey continues. You mentioned that you are going to move over to new projects. I'm wishing you all the best for the next big adventure.
Yeah,
And
thanks, Andres.
hopefully, you have been very active in the community, and I would encourage everyone that is currently listening in and that has additional questions. Well, now is still your opportunity to put a question into the Q&A, or afterwards, please join the Keptn Slack channel. You can go to slack.keptn.sh in case you're not yet on the Slack channel. You can post questions to the channels, and then we can link Sachin in case he doesn't see it, or just message him directly. I know you're very responsive. Yeah. Other than
Yeah,
that,
thanks, Andreas, for your help. All this, all through uh, our evaluation and Keptn journey, I would say.
Mhm.
You have been great help whenever we faced any issue, or whenever we had anything where we got stuck or needed your help. You were always there to come on Zoom and help us whatever issue we are facing. So thanks a lot. I would say great help.
Thank you so much. And I also want to say thanks to your organization, because I know while we're not allowed to give the name, they are helping us in our CNCF process to reach incubation status, because we just launched that process today, and I'm very grateful for that as well, and for the collaboration and friendship we
Congrats.
have. Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. All right. The audience also says thanks, Sachin, for your clarification. And with this, I want to say, I guess, good night to India. I want to say enjoy football, the Euro Cup for those Europeans. And in the US, I guess you're probably ready for lunch or breakfast, depending on whether you're East or West Coast.
Yeah. Good night and good evening. Enjoy your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.